I just want to prance around a little more because I got my camera and I'm so excited. I got my camera working. I got my camera working. I got my camera working. You can't keep a good diva down. Woohoo! I'm here today to talk about Bppv. I mentioned it on my last video, and I'm going to tell you guys all about it. It almost took me out. Wait. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Janet Mitchell, and I currently live down here in Thailand. I retired down here 2 years ago. I am your fabulous diva over 60, and in about 2 weeks, I'll be 64. So welcome to my channel. I'm just living my best life before it's a wrap. So, if that's something that you're into, if you want to listen to my retirement things, see me dance a little bit, talk about life in general, cook a little stuff, a little lifestyle, a little senior lifestyle retirement, then join me, and I'm going to try to be consistent with my channel. I want to talk to you today about something that I mentioned last time. This is the second week in a row I've been consistent. Last time I couldn't get my camera working. So I want to talk about my experience with Bppv and how that shit almost took me out, and how I never heard of this thing until I got it. I know seniors, I know older people. I owned my own beauty salon. I did older people's hair all the time in my 20s, 30s, 40s. Nobody ever talked about Bppv. Never. So I'm going to tell you guys what it is, what I did about it, and how much it cost me to get rid of it. Here it is right here. Here's the professional definition. Somewhere here. It is benign positional vertigo. And when I tell you that it was hell, that's my experience of it. It was hell. I mean to tell you, I experienced this from, let's see, from March the 20th till July. And it was over $2,000 to do the rehab. I was in rehab every Sunday. And I told a girlfriend of mine that I met down here, she's from Hawaii, and I saw her at the grocery store, and I said, you know, I've been sick. She said, no. And I said, yes. And I said, I was really dizzy. She said, your crystals? How in the hell did she know about crystals? I'm going to tell you about the crystals in my head. I had no idea that our head had crystals. Did you know? I had no idea. So, I've been around seniors all my life. In my 20s, in my professional career, when I was a hairdresser and I had my own salon, I did plenty of senior ladies. I saw them come and go all the time. Everywhere, throughout my life, my mom, her sister, my aunt, everybody. Seeing seniors and talking to older women is nothing new. And now I'm there. And nobody has ever told me about crystals in your ear. So the kind of vertigo that I had, positional vertigo, there's two types. There is a horizontal and a vertical. I got some water on that one. Oh, damn it. I don't want to know about a horizontal or vertical. I just wanted this fixed, okay? So, the doctor did a rehab every Sunday morning, and I was not well. I was not well, and I was cooped up in the house for such a long time with all this dizziness going on. So after a month of being dizzy, I thought I was well, and I went outside and I fell on my ass. Wasn't a hard fall. I didn't bump my head or anything, but I did fall. So I fell down, and then this guy picked me up and he put me in an ant farm. And I looked at all those ants while my head was spinning, and I said, they're gonna get in my cooter, and that's gonna be another fucking problem. They're gonna get up in my cooter, and they're gonna have babies up in there. And that's gonna be a real problem. So I stood up, I climbed up, grabbed onto whatever I could, climbed up, and when I climbed up, I started waving money around because I needed help to get back home. Nobody stopped. Nobody stopped. They just was looking at this black crazy lady just waving this money. So I stopped this guy. I said, hey, 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 please stop, help me. And he said, what do you need, ma'am? What do you need, madame? I said, please help me walk down the street. So he took my hand and he helped me walk down the street. He carried me like this. I just tried to grab him like this, and he carried me like this, and he took my groceries. Because I had made it to the store. On my way back, that's when I fell. And all my groceries went everywhere. So anyway, he took me by my arm, and we made it to the alley where all of the vendors that I always see, all the loving, kind Thai ladies that I always see, and they always speak to me and I speak to them, and they were very upset because they saw me crying and saw me needing help, and they were trying to communicate to ask what was wrong, so they was asking the guy, and when they was asking the guy, all I heard was just like those Turkish women or the Middle Eastern women. That's all I heard. And so they were visually upset. Visibly. They were upset, I could tell. Because their girlfriend has gotten sick and they can't communicate with me to ask me what was wrong. So when they saw me after that, like months later, they hugged me and held my hand and told me to sit with them and did like this and held my hand. So they were asking, was I okay? So I was trying to communicate to let them know that I was okay. So that was nice. That was warm. That was kind. That made me feel good. It made me feel like I had somebody down here who cared about me. But I tell you, it came back. It came back I had it from March to July. The beginning of July, I started to feel better. And he said, if you're feeling better, you don't have to come back to rehab. So I was feeling better. The second week of July, it was back, and it was in the other ear. Now, I've done this video a couple times, but I don't know where I am right now. But anyway, I never knew you had crystals in your head. And my daughter said, crystals? Mommy, you got crystals. I said, you do too, honey. We all do. And your body doesn't absorb the calcium, so the crystals, calcium forms crystals that gets loose inside your ear, and they get dislodged inside your ear canal, causing your equilibrium to go awry, and they need to be put back into place. Nobody has ever told me about a damn crystal inside my head, okay? That's the first thing. Did you know you had crystals? I had no idea. No idea. Because I don't belong here. So anyway, I thought I was feeling better. He was doing the maneuvers, the rehab. And then I was on this medication. And then that second week of July, it was back. So I had to go to the other doctor. Well, I had to go back to the doctor, but I went to a different doctor just to make sure that this was it. You know, your eyes jump back and forth. That's how they diagnose you. Your eyes jump like this. And he said, so you'll know, you can look in the mirror and you can see this. And I said, oh no, I don't want to see this. So I went to a different doctor. She diagnosed me with the same thing, but she did a different maneuver. She rolled me around and she did the barbecue roll. And then she told me to come back the next week, but she said they're back in place now. So the next week I came back and I was so scared. I said, they're still out of place. They're still. And she did the test and she said, no, you're fine. But in the meantime, April, I had an MRI done on my brain. I wanted it done just to make sure that I had a healthy brain, I wasn't in jeopardy, I didn't have a stroke or something like that. I wanted to be sure. Nobody told me to do that. I just did that on my own. So, and my results came back and I have a healthy brain, so that's good. And she performed some tests and she said I didn't have a stroke. It was Bppv. So, when I tell you it was hell, y'all, it was hell. I've never heard of this. Nobody has ever talked about this. I never knew you had crystals in your head. I spoke with several women and they didn't know what I was talking about. They had no idea. Nobody has ever talked about it, but I'm talking about it now. If you are experiencing a form of vertigo and you're just letting it go, thinking that it's a part of life, thinking that it is you are growing older, it is not. It could be Bppv. So you need to go have it diagnosed and you need the treatment and you need to fix it because you don't have to suffer as I did. My mom told me to come home. She's 87. What you gonna do for me, baby? What you gonna do? She said, come home and you can get the help. No, I can't. Because they will go through my savings. I don't have health insurance. And they will keep me waiting. They will send me to specialists. I would have to go to another doctor. I would have to buy a car. All these things. No, that's not the place for me. I am international, baby. So no, I still feel a little dizzy. So my doctor said you have to do some exercises. You got to get used to doing that every day, and you got to lay on your pillow, sit back up, lay on your pillow, sit back up, lay on your pillow, sit back up, because your brain has to recalibrate. Have you ever heard of some shit like this? Your brain has to recalibrate.